So it's Reyes against Davis in a race to 7 racks. It's the winner to break. I'll hand you over to Sid Waddell.
Thanks, Mark, baby. Well, here we are again in sunny Warsaw, where me and Mark's having a great time meeting the locals, eating the local food and enjoying the chat. Here's the semi-final, and Steve Davis will certainly learn a lot. I'm not sure if he's got the bag of tricks yet to handle the maestro, but with winner to break, Mark, anything can happen in this semi.
Well, they've played once already during this tournament, haven't they? 6-6. Now, you always say, Sid, that Efren Reyes does hold back a little for his days of hustling. Now, was he holding back a little in that 6-6 draw against Davis, or was he going flat out?
He never goes flat out. It's slightly more sophisticated than holding back. He actually is by instinct a gambler, and he will never let the other man know exactly. And also I think it's psychological. I don't think Efren Reyes knows how good he can play. It's because he's got this sort of pictogram of things he's picked up as to how to play. He'll actually suddenly see a situation and remember playing Fast Charlie or Slack Eddie or whoever, if you know what I mean. So he is a genius to the extent that he himself doesn't know how he's going to play. It's not a planned method to hang back or not.
Well, we're just waiting for the crowd to settle. It's an absolute full house here today at the NOT Theatre. You saw Steve Davis there just joking off when anybody accused if they want a game. He obviously wants to get on with it, but we're going to have to wait until everybody's seated. Efren Reyes there sitting cool and calm. Complete contrast in styles when you watch these two players play. Efren Reyes from the world of pool, Steve Davis from the world of snooker. Technically, Davis looks superb, but not that important in the world of pool, is it, Sid?
Now, shape and style mean very little. When the world champion, I mean, he looks as though he's using his stick to stab leaves in a park sometimes. When the balls go down. Anyway, Davis in play. And needs one off the break. And as we've been saying, this is a very grudging system, this. Tight rack. Also the box system of playing out the narrow box, not the full line, means that one is a good leave. To get one down. He hasn't. And the yellow one is begging. So to remind you of the rules, if you haven't been watching 9 ball, you have to hit the low ball, in this case the 1. You then proceed through the colours to the 9. But if any time you see a plant or a cannon possible from the low ball to the 9, you can win the rack. This semi-final is race to 7 racks.
We've got 2 world champions here from different disciplines. What does Reyes think of Davis, Sid?
Very hard to say because he don't speak much the English, Efren. But I do know that him and Steve Davis at the recent World Championships played some 8 ball together, and I think Efren has definitely got medals as a snooker player in the Asian Games. So I'll get the feeling that both him and Bustamante rate Davis, particularly Steve's control of the white, which for once has deserted Efren, to the amusement of the Polish crowd. Bank. Oh, and that's why his bank manager likes him. The people here from the Philippine Embassy, where he's a national hero this night. He's got the Legion d'Honneur of the Philippines and a much respected member of the community. And now proceeds the Pink 4. The world champion. 96 players came to Cardiff in the middle of 99 in the sun, and 37 of them wrote on their biogs favourite player, Efren Reyes. You could see a little epitome of why over the next hour.
Oh, this could be a bit special. Loads aside on that cue. It was so difficult playing into that centre pocket. Ignored the corner.
And how about way left and 9?
Oh, superb. Now this could all be over in 2 shots.
Could be over in 1. If he decides he can construct another angle to pot, I wouldn't be surprised if he knows geometrically how to get this white to the 9. He doesn't need to.
Here we go then, Sid.
But he knows how to get the 6 to the 9.
Actually, this is missable. This is not a gimme.
Except all he's got to do is err on the inside, because he can make a mess of this and still pot it off the cush. I'm talking about Efren Reyes! Genius at work here! Filipino Embassy, folks, pretty chuffed too. Race to 7.
As the world snooker champion, former world snooker champion, Davis going to handle Efren Reyes today. He was in control in the match they played at the round robin stages. He led 5-1. The only time I have seen Reyes on the racks showing emotion, looking frustrated. Davis had him, but he let him off the hook. He's going to have to get in front early today. He's going to have to put the pressure back on him, because Efren Reyes is a great front runner.
Yes, Davis had a Efren looking like that Hippocratic snake crawling up the doctor's stick. He twisted and turned. He normally just sits there like a man who's got a free ticket at Wimbledon and then picks up the stick and does it. Davis got through to Efren and should have beat him. That was in the round robin. Efren can smell a pretty green. Over £7,000 to the winner of this. Jim Remby, the holders already in the final.
Scratches off the break. I wonder how the pool players perceive Davis, the snooker player, as in, they think he's got other tricks up his sleeve that they haven't got?
I think they are amazed that he can go for the heart of the pocket. But the problem is that you don't always go for the heart of the pocket at this. But I have seen them absolutely bewildered by his control of the white. Use different size, or he uses the 12mm. The balls are bigger, and the cloth is like ice. But I've seen the greats like Strickland and Nick Varner say this man's control of the white ball is sensational. He's learning, you see. 2 years ago, he would have actually gone for the heart of the pocket. He's learning when not to go for the middle of the pocket.
I suppose we'll never know, but it'd be interesting to find out whether the cue and the tip size would make a difference.
Oh, beautifully worked to take the orange top left. It's very hard though, after you become the maestro that he is, to debrief yourself about perfect position.
It's virtually impossible. As I'm watching this, I'm thinking you played the cue ball just behind the brown, or, you know, when I'm watching the pool players, they don't. I think straight away poor position, but it's not. It's perfect position. It just takes some getting used to. Look at Davis. This has been perfect position.
Yeah. One apiece in the semi-final.
The NBL, live on Fox Sports.
Hi, I'm Andrew Gaze. Keep watching Fox Sports for all the NBL action.
Catch the Victoria Titans and the Wollongong Hawks. The Titans suit up for battle when they host the boys from the Gong live from Melbourne Park. Exclusively live, NBL Victoria and Wollongong, 7:30 Friday night. Fox Sports 2.
There are stories waiting to be told.
What other sportsman could you name world class who could adapt to become world class in another sport? There is a world of difference between 9-ball pool and the world of snooker. But wherever you go, all over the world, each arena is a crucible of tension, drama, a test of technique. Steve Davis, 6 times world snooker champion. Bit to be mentioned in the same breath now as Rempe and Efren Reyes, who is taking on here in this final. It's race to 7. Davis meticulously, grindingly, almost obsessively has adapted his skills to become Romford Slim in honor of Minnesota fans. But he's playing the magician. Mark might need to cast more than one spell.
The magician Efren Reyes is a strong favourite, but Davis is capable. Davis can beat him. I think he's going to need to believe he can beat him. He's going to need to be on his guard, especially when it comes to safety. I don't think I'm worried about Davis's potting or his positional play. No problems whatsoever, but the tactical side of this game.
And also, good point, there's an extension of the point. If you lay crafty snookers against this bloke, he will pot his way out of them. Him and Francisco Bustamante, also from the Philippines, are the greatest players ever known to pot their way out of shots that most men would only think a touch was the best bet.
He was trying then. He wasn't too sure exactly what was going to happen, but I can assure you he was trying to pot a ball then. He hit that yellow as hard as possible, hoping he'd get a fluke.
Well, there is, if the bases are loaded, right, if there are gimme balls elsewhere, remember, contact the low ball, and if the other balls go in, you're still in play. Can't see Davis missing here.
No, you're right. So it's going to be very, very important that Davis does take his chances, though.
Crowd enwrapped. They brought rosary beads, all sorts, Filipino flags, people here from the Philippine embassy. Hey! Snooker players ever get embassy people at their matches? Be on the tour, Mark? Give me an answer.
I don't know. I don't think so.
Not the political kind, anyway. Not sure. Oh, I think that passes top left.
No problem.
They used to be hooked on classics here in Warsaw. Now they're hooked on pool, which rhymes with cool, and you don't learn in school yet. Swedish kids are learning maths with arts. I reckon it's a good way of teaching kids the basics of physics, this. Hey, even a bit of geometry. There's no record of Euclid ever having played.
I don't think the kids would argue, would they, Sid? Okay, class, down your local pool hall this afternoon. I think they take that every time. It's packed house here at the NOT Theatre. Been a great response.
Don't know about getting them into the pool hall. When I was 14, you couldn't get me out. Cheat the register for me, pal. Anyway, Davis going about his business here, looking good. The lead in this semi-final. This a little awkward. Less than half ball contact wanted. Oh! Said it!
Trying to cheat too much of the pocket. He played a poor brown to black. Didn't get enough screw into the cue ball. Also played a more difficult black, just caught that knuckle.
But also, that is an alien shot to him, that skid shot. That drag.
Yeah.
So, almost a lesson he thought he'd learned, just misapplied. Davis, good at this game, learning all the time. One slip, and the magician's in with a wand as sharp as a rapier. 2-1 Reyes.
Well, Steve, I think you know you can't afford to do that against Reyes. He's one of those players, he's got such an aura about him that it's probably worth a couple of racks before you even start.
Oh, we saw Rempe was already in the final, coming from this exact spot. And although he flings the cue about and wobbles it round in normal play, at the break, you notice Efren chucks it in on a very straight line. And how's he looking in shape? Let's get the white exactly in the middle, but the brown, the cut looks super thin. Nice. Safety.
Well, this could go. This could go. If he can cheat enough of the pocket, he's got an angle to come back down for the blue 2, and with that black 8 over the corner, this is a chance. A slim one.
Got to travel to get a clear line, blue 2 to black after this. Oh, didn't want that. Needed more left-hand side. Should have taken the ball around 2 cushions to get a shot at the blue.
Once again, there's another example of how Steve finds it very difficult to try and cheat the pocket. Getter was straight into the heart of the pocket. Now, if he could have cheated the pocket a little, he would have had the angle to get onto that blue, but because Snooker's programmed it into him that he has to hit centre pocket every time, it's a very difficult habit to get out of. Well played, Steve.
Get out of. Brilliant stuff. Look at the swerve, deliberately imparted to the ball. The intermediate shot into black.
Well, he's looked the better of the 2 players so far, David.
This is true, but Efren Reyes from minute to minute. It's like to say the sea's green, the sea's blue, the sea's white. You never know which patch of Efren will emerge. And he could do without gifting him shots like this.
Oh, I wonder whether he wants this one too badly. Risky shot to play, Efren. He's just checking that again. He's said exactly where he intended for that cue ball to land. He mishit it. That was far too near to the centre pocket.
But you'd bank on his massive armoury of shots, and particularly the imagination. This man doesn't play the game with a stick. This man has got things going on in his head. Just like Leonardo da Vinci had on the set. What on earth are you trying to draw? Look at that. As perfect a safety as you could have got in the position.
I'd hit this one hard, Steve. Hit this one as hard as possible and hope.
Double kiss. And it didn't set it up for Efren. Semi-final here in Poland. He was doing his best and in a way looking more efficient.
He's missed 2 bad pots. He missed that pink 4 in this rack, and in the previous rack, well, disastrous for him missing the black 8.
Well, I think he's thinking about the thinnest of possible tickles on the green. No, he's not. I thought he might try an each way bet. He tried the intermediate shot. He did try a very imaginative shot. Green to brown to right. And what he's now left is not at all tasty for Davis. Any contact, apart from a perfect one, will lead the way Reyes to step in. Is it going to be leave the white where the green 6 is? Behind the brown, maybe?
Well, that would be some shot to play. That would be such a difficult shot
Can't
to
see
play.
another one?
I mean, ideally, you'd like to just clip off the green, put the green in behind the brown. The only trouble is that if he misses it, because he obviously got air on the fine side, if he misses it, ball in hand, back over. But if he could get it, well, Efren would be in all sorts of trouble.
Steve Davis fan there, that lassie. And every session supporting him. And I think he's going for what you suggested, Mark. He's going to try and goose feather the green and take the white way. Mark's applauding on the back of the seat.
I thought it was a great shot. A great shot, the best he could have done in that situation. We have seen Efren bank these, but at this stage of the game, risky shot to play.
Now, given the distance between the balls to the bottom right, I think he's going to try bank. And you see it straightens out. One chance with the bank. The angles with the spin will cancel themselves out. And that's a fluke.
Yep. He's had some luck. I suppose he played the attacking shot, so he put the luck in his favour.
Can he get a direct hit? Extreme right, the brown? I thought there was maybe a path through past the brown without hitting the inside edge.
Another one of those, Sid. Hit it hard. Yeah, you try and be careful. You try and play a shot off of two cushions and judge the green, so you put it on that top cushion and you get it wrong and you're bound to leave it up. So may as well just hit it hard and hope that it lands in a safe place. You never know, might pot one.
Well, I don't quite understand this one. Top cushion first or the side?
Top cushion, side cushion.
Pick up.
Unlucky.
Great shot. Another inch. And he would have hooked him. And the brown.
It's very rare for me to see Steve Davis when making the mistakes and his opponent just coming to the table and picking them off, but that's the case so far.
Well, he is the best player in the world. He has been stunning, taking money off the Americans in big chunks since 1983. He is El Machico. Efren Reyes goes 3-1 up in this race to 7.
Fox Sports. Rugby Union at its best with the second round from the Amy Super 12. Full coverage of every game exclusively live. West Tigers clash with Penrith and Sydney Roosters take on the Northern Eagles. Catch both games on Fox Sports Central live. The best in golf as the US PGA Tour continues with the Doral Ryder Open live and exclusive. And we keep you updated with all the latest from home and abroad on Fox Sports News. That's next weekend on Fox Sports.
Sorry. That's okay.
Happy Easter!
The Adventures of Leno and Woodley, Mondays at 8 on the Comedy Channel.
Monday nights on Fox Sports. Keep up to date with all the sporting headlines on the back page with host Mike Gibson.
This is just a bunch of guys chewing the fat. They are sports fanatics.
And panellist Peter Frillingos.
A little bit too controversial. You won't leave it alone. I think it's a terrific sport.
Peter Fitzsimons.
My father grew oranges. I grew opinions. Lots of opinions.
And Billy Birmingham.
I took a hat-trick once.
Got him, yes, gone!
Hear all about it on the back page, 7:30 Monday nights on Fox Sports.
More than the goulash cooking up here in Eastern Europe, in Warsaw to be exact. Steve Davis trails 3-2 in the semi-final to the world number 1, Efren Reyes, the world champion. It's a race to 7.
Davis holds his hands up in disbelief. He got some good movement on the 9 ball. That yellow one went into the corner of the right hand pocket but didn't drop. He actually only kicked it forward a couple of inches.
Brilliant break by Davis. Power and control. But here's main man on any street from Manitoba to Manila, from Manchester to anywhere you like. The main man in pool, the man they call the magician, Efren Reyes, the world champion. Got to be favourite to this kind of pool as well. Up to now in the round robin we'd been playing alternate break. This is winner breaks. And in the World Championship he reeled off 7 to beat former world champion Ralph Suke in one game. And look at that for control.
He was willing to spin on that white to take, bending his knees, hoping that will make a difference. Nicely situated now.
His eyes are nearly a foot above the strike zone. No chin to the cue man, him. At the age of 9, went to his uncle's pool hall in Mexico, Pampanga, Philippines. Bit on a crate. Just watched and watched and watched. Turned some kids into Wordsworth, it turned some kids into Holbein, turned some kids into Shakespeare. He turns other kids into maestros of the Bluebeard. Look and listen, practice, and world great.
Yeah, so he'll be disappointed to play the poor position shot onto that orange 5. He was looking to play the intermediate onto the black 8. Could have run out there. A let off for Davis. Not much of a let off, mind you.
Jim Remby, King James, holder of 89 top World Tour titles. 11 of them World Championship titles. Various forms of pool. Is already in the final. Steve Davis doing his best. And knowing him quite well, Davis, although he's being dished out some pain by Reyes, he'll be relishing every second of this encounter. Any option that isn't obvious here?
Well, obviously looking to try and disturb that 9 ball at the same time, try and get some movement into it, but I can't see if he's going to be able to kick that across, so well played, well played. That's when Davis comes into his own. I just like the difference in the way they play. You've got Davis, who's robotic in as much that, you know, everything is exactly the same. And you got Efren Reyes. Well, a lot of the time I always think that Efren's not too sure what he's going to do when he comes to the table.
No, he doesn't. No, I don't think he's a thinker. I think Efren has got a totally synthetic picture memory of the last time he saw somebody. It's an amazing amalgam of his own talent and being able to use a shot that he saw somebody else play.
See, like Steve has polished everything from the way he walks, the way he chalks his cue, his preparation before a shot, even the way he sat at the chair. He's trying to give off no body language whatsoever. They used to call him the Iceman, no emotion. So he'd sit there, back straight, looking dead ahead. You see Efren, he just sort of leans forward, looks around the crowd, doesn't really care what's going on.
Yep. Well, it's certainly like chess between the ears now. I don't understand why he doesn't play the orange to an intermediate ball either way.
I think he's worried. I think he's worried about whether he's playing the right shot because he knows that Reyes is sat in the chair. He's questioning himself. Thinking, have I missed something here? Is that good enough?
Well, probably for me, but I think it may be using intermediate to brown, intermediate to black. He's going, I think, for the bank. Crowd absolutely tense on this semi-final. Whirlpool League. Now it's cutthroat latter stages. This for a place in the final against Jim Rempe. I think Efren thinks there is a 2-cushion bank here. That's what he's after. No. I think against some opponents he would have tried a 2-cushion bank there.
Yeah, you could be right, Sid. Steve acknowledging that shot from Efren, he thought it was a good one.
I don't think there is room for Steve to try a bank middle left. Well, what I think you might be looking at, although this might be total pie in the sky, is the simultaneous contact orange to black, send the black onto the 9, send the 9 left. Possible. See, simultaneous contact's allowed at this, so if he hits the black at exactly the same time as he hits the orange, just watch the line the black takes. Actually, it wasn't that sophisticated. I think that was an attempt to bank the orange. Middle left.
Good chance now for Efren.
Got the crowd absolutely tenterhook this. And ominous alignment of the black and the 9.
No, maybe that's Steve's only chance. That may be his saving grace. He might even try and disturb them. He has. That's what he was playing.
Or the each-way bet of the plant.
Because
yeah? He had in mind either disturbance or this plant.
This is a difficult plan.
But actually
really
compromise to work the sort of each-way bet. It's very difficult, but it was. I think it was part of the equation in his head. So he's going to drive into the black. Genius at work. A 50-50 shot. He took it right of the black. Then he did the plant. 4-2, the world champion leads. Well, you must excuse me and Mark Johnson Allen, folks, but it is like two pilots flying in fog over mountains. Trying to keep tabs on Efren Reyes.
Efren Reyes to break, leading by 4 to 2.
Oh, he's moving the cue ball across the line.
Why?
is obviously not happy with his break. Watch the 9 ball, centre ball of the diamond. No, he really upped the pace. That's surprising from Efren. That's not like him. He was giving that the kitchen sinks in.
I think it's a great compliment to Davis that for a lot of people's money, one of the greatest players ever, certainly the world champion, would decide on a rash gambler's tactic. Why not, when you're 4-2 up and it's a race to 7, not just play that from exactly the same place? I think he tried to throw down the gauntlet to Steve, say, well, I've got you running, now I'm going to cripple you. It was a bit of flash, a bit of psychology, and at the moment it hasn't come off.
Totally agree with you. I like it. I think that'll please Davis. You know, I don't think they can work Davis out yet. I don't think... Davis doesn't play a straightforward pool game. He's got a bit of everything. I still think they look at that technique and think, oh, that looks good. This man looks like he knows what he's doing. We've seen it before when they played in the round robin stage. Davis had him under it.
Well, and also Echo and Howley, and occasionally Roter in this, tried to get greedy with the pack. That's for the first time Efren's tried to get greedy from the break. Well, my wife said, told her I was going to hold him for a few days. She said, take you along, John, Sydney, you're not getting any younger. Where I'm going, maybe -5 outside. It's going to be very warm on the table. Jim Rampy's in the final. A minute, Efren Reyes looking to book his place.
Sweet shot from Reyes. Intended. I don't think he's worked Davis out. Really don't.
But in a way, nobody knows in the world what Efren Reyes is capable of, including Efren Reyes. He's like a volcano that you think maybe packed it in, and then you'll find another spurt. It's because he's a great copier, an amalgam of all the shots he's seen since he was 9. Forget your silicone pelican chip or whatever. In that guy's head is every experience of spheroids he's had since he was 9. I'm so excited, they're kicking over the ashtrays. Brilliant shot.
Played it.
That was deliberate.
Yeah. Davis left the table pleased with the shot he played. Little did he know that Efren Reyes came to the table thinking, great chance here for me.
He means this to go in off the pink. He meant every millimetre of that track. Long, short, cut or thrust. If the Three Musketeers had been recruiting, D'Artagnan wouldn't have got a look in. Absolute brilliant work by the world champion.
That was a better shot. He had a lot of check side on that cue ball to hold it for the green 6. There's not a lot in them. Just a couple of percent. It's just looking to attack. He's seen those shots before. I don't think Davis has. Because he hasn't played enough 9 ball, I don't think he's seen the shots.
I totally admits that. His tactics he sometimes does not understand. But then again, Efren, this is a great money player. Plays as well as he needs to. Folks from the Filipino Embassy happy. Efren Reyes leads 5-2 in this semi-final.
Monday nights. Fox Sports, where legends are made and champions are crowned.
Swerve round heavily, trying to take. Oh, unlucky son! I think he was thinking of taking that curve into the 9 after contact with the yellow. Yes, it is. Has he got a straight pot, middle or bottom left? You reckon, Mark? Just go.
There's the answer. Goes into the bottom left. The middles looks dubious. They prefer the corners as it is, so I presume he's going to take that. Touch out. It's funny. When Reyes misses, he sort of smiles to himself or laughs. Now, is that something he's putting on? Trying to act like he doesn't care?
Oh, yes.
Because there's no way you're going to be happy with missing.
Because if you come back and say we played for 200 and I lost, I play for 500 now. He won't miss shots like that. There's something in his face that makes guys he takes to the cleaners when he plays for money just think he can't be serious. In good shape on the blue too now. And I don't know, I'm not just imagining. I think there's now a stab in his cueing action that wasn't there 2 years ago when he started to play this. This idea of changing the speed as you come through the ball. This slowing up sometimes, but always continuing as a stroke. It's a more crude form of use of cue than snooker. But maybe it must be at this.
Maybe he has to cue it differently because of the cue he's using. It's not as heavy.
Exactly.
It's not as thick.
Yep.
And he's using the same cue as he uses for snooker, and the balls in pool are considerably bigger and heavier.
Yep. So if you're not dead on with where you're hitting, I mean, I've got the billiard manual 99 critical shots in pool, and they list 14 different places to hit the cue ball. Right? Middle, up a couple, down a couple, across a couple, and about 8 round. So that's with the normal full cue. So in a funny way, Davis playing with a smaller cue at 12 mil.
He's doubling it. Not doubling it, but he's certainly increasing it, yeah.
Putting on more or less spin than he needs. So really, well, he asked a question earlier on in the series, should he use a proper full cue? Maybe he should try. But also there's the question, because Steve's still very much part of the snooker, would practicing too hard with the equipment for this game, i.e. a proper cue, spoil his snooker?
I think you've hit the nail on the head, Sid. That's the reason he's not doing it. He's still playing extremely competitive snooker. He's enjoying his 9-ball, but he doesn't want to start playing with a different cue. And then all of a sudden,
if the point ever came where he thought that good habits for this learned were detracting from long-learned habits at snooker, I don't see pack this in. But so maybe that's the dilemma. To get really good at this, it might affect your snooker.
Exactly.
Rather than Efren going for the jugular here, looking at them take it to 6-2. It's a race to 7. It's a semi-final. beautifully screwed. And you'll just want to come in here with a snidge of right hand side to take it. This will put them one away from the match in the first and final. Large Filipino contingent here, including people from the embassy, cheering on the maestro. 6-2. He's ahead. Well, Michaela Tams looks as though she should be at St James's Park, Newcastle on time. They're officiating here at sunny Warsaw as the reigning world champion Efren Reyes finishes with style, a golden break to sink Rumford Slim. What is this man not capable of? The magician ends with a spill out of the Prima Liga. What a way to end the match. Saving the best till last, or what? Flag of the Philippines, flying proud here in Warsaw.
So the world professional champion Efren Reyes will play the reigning champion Jim Rempe in the final. What a mouth-watering prospect that one will be. Join us next time for the final of the GT Interactive World Pool League.